know what I'm going to say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
Ashe, air signs. Thank y'all for tuning in to today's reading. I'm the Sacral Empress, and I'm here to deliver a full moon reading for you guys. So I hope you guys are ready with your snacks, with your drink, with your whatever it is that you're doing. I usually watch these readings and clean. So I don't know if anyone's cleaning, but we're about to get into it. Crazy fun fact. I actually was doing y'all's reading and the video wasn't even recorded. So here we are again. I'm a little hurt, low key. I'm like, damn, like it was a good reading. Everything came out. Basically the message was that a lot of you need to move on from your past, so that you can move forward, you know? And some questions I had asked you guys was, where are you? You know, where are you right now? So that you could find your way, you know? And I feel like a lot of you aren't giving yourselves credit. Y'all could really be beating yourselves up right now over something that may have happened recently or something that happened in the past. But it's time to, you know, acknowledge how you feel and move forward. So I'm hurt that the message didn't get delivered the way that I intended it to. But I guess that there is more for you guys to hear. Maybe more for me to hear as well. I am a Gemini sun. So maybe there's some messages here for me as well. Especially with the first reading. Because I feel like the first reading, I was like, maybe it was for me. Maybe the reading was for me. So we're about to get into it. About to get into y'all's business with this beautiful astrology deck. So if you guys are wondering what these decks are that I'm using today, they will be in the description. Okay, so we got 9th house. Fun fact, Sagittarius came out in y'all's last reading. So we got Sagittarius energy here again. And then we got the moon that was also in the spread earlier. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So, I can definitely see for you guys, you know, you guys are moving into a new space. I guess, like, for you guys, I also picked up on, like, moving. So, maybe you guys are looking to move out of the state, out of the country, out of the planet. Like, you know, a lot of you guys are looking to move. So, I could definitely see that here for you all. Maybe you are just in a very toxic environment or just a very chaotic space. And you don't want to be there anymore. You know, you don't have to be there anymore. It's time for you to pick up your stuff and get on with your life, you know? So maybe there's some things you got to walk away from, or just some people you got to distance yourself from, or there's just something that you have to do for your own peace. It's for your peace, okay? It's for your peace. So next we got the moon card, feelings. How are you feeling right now, air sign? How do you feel genuinely, honestly? How do you feel internally? Is there heaviness in your heart? Is there something you need to get off your chest? Is there something that you need to cry about? Something that you need to, you know, feel that anger about? There's just emotions that you need to feel that I feel you're suppressing. Okay. So moving on, we got Pisces, the mystic. So a lot of you need to tap in with your, you know, your spirituality. Maybe exercising your spirituality a little bit more, getting more familiar with yourself in that department. I feel like a lot of you are running away from your gifts, from your ability to transcend, your ability to heal, your ability to read. And I think that a lot of you are scared. A lot of you are scared to make something out of that. Maybe you feel like it's not enough, or maybe you feel like that what you're doing isn't enough. But it is enough. And I think that y'all have to realize that y'all gotta be very confident in y'all's gifts. Otherwise, you know, it's not gonna feel like a gift. It's gonna feel like a curse, you know? So be more confident in your gifts for sure. So your next card is 3rd house, perception. We got speech, thought, social media, all that good stuff. So maybe you guys need to express yourself more on social media. Maybe start a blog, maybe start a book, like write a book or something like that. So air signs, you need to take what you know and put it somewhere, and take what you feel and put it somewhere. So some of you guys need to be journaling your feelings, rather than just y'all keep suppressing. Let's not suppress no more, y'all. Let's not keep suppressing. We don't have to keep suppressing. It's time to feel. Allow yourself to feel. What are you afraid of feeling? Okay, what are you guys afraid of feeling? Are you scared to feel too many emotions at once? Are you scared to just feel because it's uncomfortable? Because that's what a lot of you have to do. A lot of you have to do what doesn't feel good to you, you know? And I think that's going to be the hardest thing for you guys with this full moon season, is doing more things that are out of your comfort zone or out of the norm. And I think that may be another reason as to why y'all may not feel so confident in your gifts is because it's out of the norm, which is, it's sad to say, because it's like, this isn't something that, it's not unfamiliar to the earth. It's like we're supposed to be tapping in with our spiritual gifts, but nowadays it's not normal to be spiritual. It's like everyone's just in their own little world. Everyone's doing things a little bit differently nowadays, but there's nothing wrong with you being spiritual. There's nothing wrong with you having spiritual gifts. There's nothing wrong with you being psychic, being an empath, being a medium, being a holistic healer. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. And that's something that you need to acknowledge. You're not doing anything wrong, but being yourself, living in your truth, practicing what comes naturally for you. This is something that comes naturally for you, and you're denouncing it because you don't want anybody to judge you, or because you don't want to hear, the backlash or the feedback or whatever the case may be. You go out and do what you love, and however people feel about it is up to them. It's on them. It's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. It's all on them. Okay? That is their responsibility. They got to deal with how they're feeling towards you. You don't have to put up with that shit. Shake that shit off, okay? Shake it off for you, okay? You do not need it in your life, in your way. It's literally something that you could just put to the trash. Put in the trash, put in the recycling bin, put it somewhere, but don't leave it in your mind. Don't let people plant seeds in your mind about what you're doing, because if you know what you're doing is right, don't let other people try to convince you that you're doing the wrong thing, because they need to focus on what they're doing, okay? They don't need to be focusing on you. All right, let's see what else you guys have here. What else is going on in the energy of the air signs this full moon season? All right, we got the 8th house, Scorpio energy, 7th house. Okay. We got opposition here. And we got the ascendant. So, with your next cards, you got 8th house here. So, I do feel like a lot of y'all need to do more of what you love. You need to spend more time exploring your shadow self, okay? Spend more time in the shadow realm. And this isn't to punish you. This is just to get more familiar with your shadow. Who is your shadow? Because I feel like a lot of you don't realize that it's still a part of you. It's not a part of you need to get rid of. It's a part of you that you need to learn to love, okay? You need to learn to like this part of yourself because it's still you at the end of the day. So I would definitely suggest y'all go watch my shadow work video. I might be able to tag it somewhere in the video. But check that video out. It may help you guys with shadow work, especially if you're looking at shadow work as like getting rid of your negative traits, getting rid of who you are. Like, we're not going to do that because deep down, our shadow is who we are at the core. It's who we are at the core, and there may be some things we have to work on, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of the shadow traits is who we really are. So do not try to place a cap on who you are, because then you're not allowing yourself to be yourself, and then you live a life of misery, you live a life of suffering, you live a life of pain when you don't need to, when you don't have to. Okay. So next is the 7th house. So this is Libra energy. So maybe you guys are feeling connected. I'm going to read the signs off to y'all basically, so y'all can kind of, decide like, do y'all have placements here? And I was telling you guys in the last reading that, it's good for you guys to connect with your natal chart. So I think the reason I pulled these cards out was because you guys need to connect with your natal chart, get a natal chart reading from somebody, try to read your own natal chart if you're more familiar with astrology. It's not that hard. My friend does natal chart readings. I'll put their information in the description if you guys want to book a natal chart reading with him. But I personally don't do natal chart readings. I might do like a natal chart reading analysis service, but it's not going to be a full-blown natal chart reading because I am not an astrologer. I know a lot about astrology, but I'm not someone that can tell you every single detail down to the degrees and, all of that stuff. So I could tell you about your planets and the signs, and maybe even a little bit about the houses, or actually not even a little bit. I know a lot about those 3 things. Okay. Those are the 3 things I could tell you about, which is basically the things that you need to know anyways. As far as the transits and the degrees, I'm still working on that. I'm still learning all that stuff. So once I get those things learned and I'm confident and fluent in that, then I would definitely love to offer that as a service. But the most I could do is a natal chart analysis, to read off your planets, your houses, your signs, all that. That's about it. So if that's what y'all need, then y'all can book with me. But I would definitely suggest booking with my friend. He does a really great job at reading natal charts and stuff. So that is what I'm seeing. Now we got the ninth house here. Ninth house is Sagittarius, eighth house is Scorpio, seventh house is Libra, third house is Gemini. So maybe there's some connections that need to be made here in these areas. Ninth house is more of like, education, higher learning, expansion in the sense of, your knowledge. So knowledge in your spiritual, knowledge in your mental, knowledge in your physical, emotional, however the case may be. So maybe you guys need to expand in all of those areas. Maybe you guys are limiting yourself emotionally. You're limiting yourself mentally. You don't need to be. You got eighth house here. Eighth house is Scorpio. So for a lot of you, there's a lot of things that, you feel are taboo, or feel are too dark or too much or too something, so maybe you guys feel like you're too much. Maybe you feel like you're too much to handle, or you're too explosive, or you're too something. But you're never too much for the universe. You're never too much for the creator. So why are you too much for yourself? So it feels like with your shadow, maybe you feel like your shadow always gets you in trouble, or your shadow is just super bad or negative, or whatever the case may be. But how can you learn to love this part of yourself aside from all the negative things, aside from all the things that you've done, all of the things that, you've said? How can you continue to learn this, love and learn this part of yourself? Because it feels like a lot of you do not know your shadow. A lot of you are doing things from your light and blaming your shadow. Your shadow is probably not the one doing all these things that you think it's doing. So it's time to learn your shadow. I'll offer a shadow reading service if you guys would like to get a reading. Otherwise, you guys can do shadow work on your own. You can do a shadow work prompt and reflect from there. So next is the seventh house, which is Libra energy. So maybe you guys are sad about a relationship that came to an end, or maybe there's multiple relationships that are coming to an end, or maybe there's relationships that are forming, or maybe you guys simply have wounds surrounding relationships, and that's something that you guys need to work on during this full moon season. So take the time out to reflect on, your past relationships. How did they play out? How did you feel? How did the other person make you feel? Is there something internally that, you need to reflect on and heal and work on, so that when you do get in relationships, you're not repeating the same things over and over and over again. So we got Pisces in opposition here. And I feel like with Pisces in opposition, this is balance. You may need to dream more, because I feel like a lot of you are taking life too seriously. So it's like step out of that space of like needing to be so serious all the time, to focus more inward, and be more explorative. I think for a lot of you need to be more adventurous, and take more risks and just do things that you would normally do. It's hard to be uncomfortable, but I feel like the discomfort is what's going to really motivate you. It's really going to push you. And, you might do something that makes you uncomfortable and realize it's something that you actually love doing. So you never know until you try. I feel like for a lot of you, you're too comfortable right now in a specific space. You may need to move out of that space so that you can feel more free. You deserve that freedom. Okay, you deserve to be free. You deserve to experience it. You deserve to just allow yourself to be. You don't have to limit yourself anymore, air signs. You're probably around people that limited themselves, or, you probably have watched people in your life limit themselves, but you do not have to live that way. You don't have to live to anyone else's means. Live to your means. Live up to who you want to be in this lifetime, and bridge the gap, okay? Bridge whatever gap is in between you and what you want, or you and who you are, or whatever the case may be. So next we got ascendant here. So this is the question: who are you? Who do you think you are? Who do you want to be? Who are you now in the present moment? You guys may be thinking a lot about who you used to be, and there's nothing that you can do to trace back to that person. You are you right now in the flesh, in the present moment. Focus on who you are right here, right now. We can't go back in time and change anything about our past, or change the things that we've done, or the way we made people feel, or whatever the case may be. You are only in control of how you can make yourself feel. You can't control everyone else's feelings. Okay. You got to think about you and what you want and who you are. Okay. So I do feel like, for you need to be more mindful and intentional about, your relationship with yourself. Now we got third house energy here. This is Gemini. So, what are you not seeing? Air signs, what are you not seeing about yourself? There may be some things that you're overlooking about yourself. And, with your spiritual gifts, with your ability to connect with people in so many different ways, what's stopping you from that? What's stopping you from sharing your gifts with the world, or sharing your beliefs with the world, or sharing your love with the world? And also sharing these things with yourself as well. It starts with you. Okay? It starts with you, air signs. You can't expect anybody to make you love yourself. You can't expect anybody to make you better. You have to do it all because you want to do it. Okay? It's all up to you. So we're about to get the tarot cards out and see what else you lovely individuals need to hear right now. All right. We got the High Priestess. We got Ace of Wands reversed. We got the Goddess of Cups. We have the Hermit card. So, I feel like for a lot of you, maybe y'all been in solitude a little too much. Like, y'all getting too comfortable in y'all solitude. Maybe y'all need to step out of y'all's comfort zone and connect with more people. Okay, some connections need to be made, air signs. Y'all are scared to reach out or scared to say something or do something with a group of people. I feel like it's time for you guys to really move out of that fear. Okay, let's acknowledge the fear and let's not let it limit us. Okay, let's not let our fears limit us anymore. We're too grown for that. Okay, we're too grown for fear to be getting in the way of our happiness. Too grown. Okay, now it's an excuse. Let's not have any more excuses as to why we can't live a life of happiness. So we got the High Priestess here, clarifying the 9th house and the 8th house. I feel like for a lot of you, look, there's the dark and the light here. Sit in that. Sit in it. Own it. Own it. I got a shadow. I got a light. I got this. I got that. Own that shit. You know who you are. Own that shit, okay? Own it. Own every mistake that you've made. Own up to every disrespectful thing that you said. You know what I'm saying? You said it. You did it. You can't do nothing about it. You have to learn to come to a place of acceptance, air signs. You have to learn to accept who you are. There's nothing that you can do to change what you've done. So accept who you are now. Obviously, you may want to make better decisions in the future, but know that what you did it, and you can't take it back. So you just got to accept it. Own up to it. You know what? I did it. Oh, well. It's done. What's done is done. I'll move forward. I'll make better decisions. I'll be better. I'll move better. I'll act better. I'll listen. I'll do whatever it is you think you need to do it in the present moment. But don't think you got to go back and, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have, coulda, shoulda. Okay? There ain't nothing that you could do about it to make it happen. So you're going to have to do it now in the present and leave it at that. Okay? Own who you are. Own up to who you are at the end of the day. If you're grumpy, own that shit. If you're lazy, own that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing things that aren't good for you, own that shit. It's the only way that you can make changes is if you learn to accept whatever the problem is. Accept it so that you can make, a way to finding a solution. Okay? We got Ace of Wands reversed here. So I feel like for you, you guys are tired of putting your feelings and emotions and time and energy into shit for it to not flourish or for it to not be fruitful. But what if that wasn't supposed to be fruitful? What if it wasn't supposed to go anywhere in the first place? So you have to be mindful as to where you're putting your time and energy, because sometimes you can put your energy and time into dead-end situations, into dead-end people, into dead-end jobs, into dead-end whatever that fucking case may be. You're putting your time and energy into places where it's not going to thrive, and then you get mad when it's not thriving and when things aren't going the way that you want it to go. You need to sit and ask yourself, before you even do that, is this going to bring me the results that I need? Ask certain questions. Do certain things. Meditate. You know what I'm saying? Call on your spirit guides, ancestors. Pray. There's so many different things that you can do to prevent yourself from going through that cycle that you're tired of going through. Okay? So pray and ask for some type of clarity. Like, spirit, is this something that I need to be, putting my time and energy into before you say yes? A lot of y'all just say yes to shit and don't even know why you're saying yes. You're doing stuff. You're, wanting to be around certain people. You wanted to try new things and do this and do that, but you don't even know why you're doing it. So a big part of why you keep getting stuck in this cycle is that you're a yes man. And you have to stop saying yes. Stop saying yes to everybody. Stop saying yes to everything. Especially if you feel iffy about it. If you're like, man, I don't know. Because you probably don't know. Okay? You probably don't fucking know what you want right now. And that is okay. But you need to be honest with yourself so that you can get the best out of your experience. Okay? Honesty is the best policy, especially when it comes to yourself. So start being honest with yourself, air signs. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting stuck in these cycles and stuck with these people and stuck in these phases and in these whatever the fucking case may be. Start saying no. Okay? For a lot of you, y'all need to start saying no to people. No, I can't come out. No, I don't want to go here. No, I don't want to listen to your mixtape. No, I don't care about this or that or whatever the case may be. If people feel some type of way, oh well, you just weren't the person to hear it. You weren't the person to see it. You weren't the person to go with them. You just weren't the person for them. You don't have to be everything for everybody. Who do you need to be for yourself, air signs? That is the main focus, okay? That is what we need to be focusing on. Stop trying to focus on saving everybody and being Captain Save-A-Ho. You can't do it, okay? You just can't, because you're going to be disappointed because you're living for everybody else but yourself. Start living for you, air signs, okay? Next, we got the Hermit. Oh, I skipped the Goddess of Cups. Maybe that's what y'all are doing. Maybe y'all are skipping over the self-love, skipping over the self-care, skipping over all of that to be alone because you don't want to be out connected with nobody. So maybe y'all need to be in solitude, but I also feel like y'all just need better boundaries. You know, y'all just need better boundaries when it comes to people, when it comes to your relationships. Also communicating how you're feeling, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, all of that. It just seems there needs to be more communication, needs to be more open communication. It needs to be more of you addressing your feelings. It needs to be more of you opening up and being honest, and no longer neglecting yourself, because I feel like a lot of you are neglecting yourself, neglecting your needs, you're neglecting your wants. You know, you're neglecting the things that you enjoy. No more self-sabotage, friends, okay? No more self-sabotage. I don't want to see it no more in y'all's readings. And if I see it, I'm going to call that shit out immediately. So we got the Goddess of Cups here. I feel like with the Goddess of Cups, you know, y'all need to incorporate more time to yourself. You need to do more for you. It doesn't mean that you got to take 24 hours out of the day to just focus on yourself. Maybe take 12 hours out the day to focus on yourself. That other 12 can go to somebody else. Okay? It could go to someone else. It could go to whoever. Shit, 6 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours. It doesn't have to be you giving all your time and energy to everybody else. It just needs to be a balance. You just need balance. Time for myself, time for those around me. You can make it happen. A lot of y'all need to work on y'all's time management anyway, so get to it, okay? Get to the time management. You literally got this, okay, air signs? You literally got this. I think a lot of y'all need to realize that y'all put so much time and effort into so many different things around you that if you just stopped for a moment, if you just stopped and just let things be for a second and focus on you and focus on what you need and where you need to go and who you need to be, everything else will flow naturally. Everything else will come so fluidly for you. But you're trying to get your hands in every single pot. You're trying to put all your eggs in one basket. You're trying to do too much at once. And it's draining you. It's hurting you. It's overwhelming you. And you don't realize it because you feel like you still have to contribute to all of these different things. Stop contributing to everything. Stop contributing to everybody else's needs and wants. Contribute to your own. And then you'll have more time to have fun and enjoy yourself and get lit and turn up with your friends and do all of that, because now you're not babysitting nobody. You're focusing on self. You're getting you together. And life is going to flow so much more smoother when you actually figure out what it is that you need and what it is that you want. Okay? Prioritize yourself. That's just that, okay? Y'all need to prioritize yourselves. Y'all getting so comfortable doing for other people. And it's frustrating you because now you're not happy. Now you're overwhelmed. And now you're sad and depressed and all these other things because you're not giving yourself the things that you need and the things that you want. So release what doesn't serve you on this full moon. Write down a list of things that you need and write down a list of things that you want. And then from there, you can figure out what's the most important thing of all. Out of all the things that you wrote down, what's the number one thing on your list? You're going to put the needs and wants together, okay? What is the number one thing right now for you? The number one thing. What's the second thing? And then focus on those 2 things. If you want to add a third thing, focus on those 3 things. But don't start trying to focus on 50 things at once. Because then you're gonna be back in that space where you're overworked, you're overstimulated. Okay? Focus on 2 to 3 things. And if you want to just focus on one thing, do that. It's better for you to have all that time and attention towards that one thing. So once you get that down to a science, you can focus on the second thing. And when you get that down to the science, you can focus on the third thing. And when you get that down to a science, you can focus on everything else that comes after that. But as of right now, you need to focus on 1 to 3 things right now that are main priority. Main priority in your life. Not everybody else's life, but in your life, my love, okay? So looking at y'all's numbers, y'all got 2 here, y'all got 1, and then y'all have 9. So 2 is balance, and I feel as though, y'all have to work on finding your balance, work on finding that level of security within your own personal life. With 1 here, being one with yourself. And also taking the lead. You are a leader, air sign. You are a leader. You may not be the leader in your own eyes, but you lead your life at the end of the day. To some extent, we're all leaders. Okay, we're all leaders to some extent. Now, you may need to start leading yourself because you're following other people or trying to do what everybody else is doing. What do you want to do, air signs? Okay, you're so adaptable that you feel you can just do anything, which is great. But you need to figure out what you actually want to do so that you're not getting lost in everybody else's sauce. Okay, and then we got 9 here. So it's time to complete a cycle. You've been in hermit mode for a long period of time, a long periodically time. You don't have to be in hermit mode no more. Okay, have a balance of when you're in solitude and when you're out connecting with other people, because you're going to get so comfortable in solitude that getting out of your comfort zone is going to be even harder for you, and we don't need that. Okay, we don't need that. We need you out here in these streets, air signs. We need you out here in these streets. Okay, you have purpose. Your purpose isn't to hide and run away from people and run away when it gets hard. You know what I'm saying? It's time for you to step out of your comfort zone and stand in your power. And that's all I have for y'all. If you guys would like a personal private reading, the link will be in the description. You can use the code August 2022 for 50% off on all services and readings. I will share my friends' info in the description if you guys want to get a natal chart reading from them. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, if y'all feel like y'all want to go check out the other readings, there's the earth signs, the fire signs, and the water signs. So if y'all have any of those other placements in your natal chart and you want to check out a reading on your other placements, go for it. Maybe some similarities, but it's up to you to decide if that's what you want to do. But that is what I have for you guys. Don't forget to hydrate, meditate. I love you all, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.